What it do, everybody? Welcome back to another podcast. That podcast name, SSDD.
Or as we like to say, same shit, different day.
Yes, sir. I also want to take this time to give our Twitter handle a shout out. That's SSDD underscore podcast. And our Instagram at SSDD underscore pod. Today's topic, how trash Manchester.
Oh my God, I knew you were going to say something. No, today's topic is going to be about the Liverpool versus Manchester United game. This game was played at Anfield. But before we get into that, as we've talked about before, I'm kind of into the whole soccer, football, aspect, and you not so much.
Far from.
And so before we go into that game that happened today, I wanted to ask you then, what is your experience with the sport? What have you played before?
Yes, and dibble dabbled. There
Okay.
goes that phrase again. Dibble dabbled. I dibble dabbled a little bit.
Mostly just play in school and recess and
Yeah,
all that.
school recess, with my
So,
beaner
like,
friends. Yeah.
What position would you play?
I don't know positions. I
You
kick
don't
the
know?
ball. I
Would
try
you
to
be
make.
closer to your defending your goal, or would you be attacking?
I ain't know all that jargon. No, I still
Yeah.
don't. Yep.
What do you remember from the game that you played?
A little black and white dog. A dog ball.
You're chasing a dog, not even a ball.
Yeah, the freaking Dalmatian dog. Right?
So it's safe to say your overall experience with playing is close to none.
Yeah.
Okay, close noob. We'll just say call you a noob.
Noob.
So probably the most famous place to play it is in England. They have they're very passionate about it. They don't call it soccer. They call it football. And it makes a lot more sense because it's literally your foot and a ball, right? I just don't understand why they call it
American football. It doesn't make sense to call football. Like you kick it like twice a game.
Right. That's it. And honestly, I only call it soccer when it comes to either, talking to people from America, but anywhere else I always call it football. But
I'm gonna start calling it that.
Yeah, it's
Hey guys, newsflash. Although we're American, no more soccer. It's football.
So in England, again, it's very popular. They live, breathe football over there. That's all it is about, and one of their biggest rivalries is Liverpool versus Manchester United. These teams have been coming together for ages. They've won championships against each other, European championships for both of them. Very prestigious clubs, right? A lot of big fans and things like that.
Yeah, I've heard of both of those. Mostly from you, the Manchester United, but Liverpool, definitely heard of them before.
So I'm going to give you a breakdown of the table. So basically the top 4 teams at the end of the season, if you're in the top 4 spot, you get what is called the Champions League tournament spot. Okay. The Champions League is basically the best of the best in Europe, from Spain, Germany, England as well, and just all those countries around that play. So the top 4 in England. In Spain, I believe it's the top 4 as well. In Germany, the top 4. But some clubs, they only do top 2. The lower division clubs, the ones that are not as popular as these other countries. So you want to finish at least top 4 in the Premier League so you can play in that Champions League. Every player I've ever known, they know about the Champions League. They want to play in the Champions League. It's the best. But second below that, I would say the Premier League is pretty popular. Now, talking about the 2 teams in question, in that team, where after watching that video from today, where do you think Manchester United stands out of 20 spots?
I mean, they scored 0 goals.
They scored 0 goals. Yes, they had no goals scored. But out of 20 spots, where do you think you would rank them just by seeing that video?
I feel like I'm slightly biased because I've seen one other football game with you, and they were doing very good.
Right.
So with my bias included, I give them out of 20. I'd give them They sitting at 15.
15th. 15th. Okay.
15.
And the team who scored 7 goals, where would you
They
place
up
them?
in top one. They second or third.
You can say second or third.
Yeah, second or third.
So, in actuality, Manchester United is in third place right now, and Liverpool has been struggling this season. They were earlier this, I think, last month. They were in 10th, and now they are currently in 5th place. So they're moving on up. Yep, they're one spot away from the Champions League top 4, right? And coming into this game, Manchester United were favorites to win this game. Liverpool has not been doing good. They've been struggling this season. They've just not clicked. But in the past, I'd say 2 or 3 seasons, they've been prolific. They've won Champions League. They've won a Premier League. These are mentality kings, you could say, in Liverpool, and they've won trophies with this whole entire team. But the start of the season, you could see they were kind of tapering off.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just like, I've won everything. Well, what am I giving 100% for? But you see it slowly coming back because they love to play. And Liverpool, that's how they are. They're always going to win championships, as well as Manchester United.
But not that one. Not that game.
And the funny thing is that this isn't the first time they've played each other. They played each other last in August. And who do you think won that game?
Had to be
It had to be who?
Manchester United.
They did.
They
did, and they only won 2-1 that game.
So they gave me a fair fight. I like that.
Yeah. So I mean, that was all the way in August, and then from there, they've been playing really good. They've been like on it, bro. They've just been really good. But let's get into the game. What went wrong in the second game, especially because, as you saw in the game, they didn't score until close to the end of the first half, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of that first goal? All right, so just a quick replay of the first one.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Magical. It was like butter. It was like butter, not the slide. Well, the slide too, it's like butter. But
so that's their
strategic pass before. I think you mentioned that too.
Right, and that's one of their January signings. So he just came to that team in January. His name is Cody Gakpo. He's from the Netherlands. And yeah, like I said, quality strike. The way that he just passed it in between Fred, and I forget who the other defender was there at the time right there, but he just picks that pass in between those two defenders and just completely baffles the whole back line, cuts back in, straight off the right foot into goal, man. Beautiful cross. And the thing is, Cody Gakpo was linked to join Manchester United. Yeah.
He literally switched teams.
Bro, and that's what stings. Like the player we were going after, and then when we ended up playing against them, like he scores that goal. Like it tells you our manager was looking at him for a reason. Why didn't you back him up and get him, And
follow through, my guy. Follow through.
So that's upsetting. End of the first half, and straight into the second half is when we get battered. So I wanted to ask you, if you are losing 1-0 in the first half, what are you thinking going into the second half? Like what are your thoughts? What would it be?
We gotta come back from that.
Right? You're just down 1 goal.
But my money was on the Reds peoples anyway. Liverpool till I die.
But
just to spite you.
It's crazy, you're just attacking me because this is my team and I hate it. But to be honest, like it's crazy that you go into the half, you have a team talk, you're like, okay, we got this. We're just 1 goal down. Like we just got to keep organized, keep our passing, keep our pressing. They did none of that. And as we see here in the second goal, they're celebrating right now in the video. And if you guys want to watch this video with us while we're while you're listening to this podcast, you could just go to the NBC YouTube page and just watch the highlights. Or if you watch the game, today, because we're recording this podcast on Sunday and it's not going to be released till tomorrow. But if you watch the game, you guys know about how the second half went. If you're a Manchester United fan, I don't know if you turned it off after the third or fourth goal, but
Some people left.
yes, as you did see, you saw people leaving the stadiums. And what did you say about that? As a fan, would you leave?
No, I'd stay and support your team, man. If you're gonna be there, if you're gonna pay for them tickets, you want to watch the game. Because what if you miss the biggest comeback ever? Because that's what they needed. That's what they needed when it was 7 goals in.
And what's funny is that Liverpool. Remember when I was talking to you about the Champions League?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So they recently played against Real Madrid. Do you know who Real Madrid is?
No idea.
No idea who. Wow. Okay, so little people are gonna.
Spain, right?
So they are in Spain. They're you said Barcelona earlier to me, right?
Oh yeah. I before this podcast, I was like, I'm going in with nothing. So like, I was talking to my coworker, and he said, I mentioned Manchester United because I know you got Manchester United stuff all over your house. So
right.
And he was like, "Ooh, don't mention Barcelona." And I was like, "I'm gonna mention Barcelona."
Well, what do you mean? We beat Barcelona.
Then he said, "Oh wait, you said Manchester United?" He was like, "Oh wait, they low-key just beat us."
Yeah.
His team is Barcelona.
So his team is Barcelona. So he would have maybe he would have seen Real Madrid against Liverpool, and in that game, Liverpool scored twice to against Real Madrid, and you were saying, speaking of comebacks, if your team was losing 2-0, you wouldn't want to leave just yet. And then at the end of the game, Real Madrid scored 5-2. The game ended.
On the first half or the second?
I can't remember correctly how many they scored in the first half, but I think they tied it 2-2. Maybe it was 3-2 in the first half, and then they scored 2 more in the second half. But it was a comeback, and that's just like they kept their heads together after the second goal, and they came back, and then they kept organized. Here, you could clearly see they fucking dropped their heads, and they just stopped playing. Yeah, like
just do it.
And I don't understand that, because coming into this game, they were undefeated. They went against Barcelona, and to everyone,
wait. Where is Barcelona on the top 20?
Oh wait, in top 20, yeah. I would say honestly, in the biggest clubs in the world, they're probably in top 5.
Oh, okay, same with them. They're up there top 5.
Yeah, I would say, like I said, Manchester United, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich.
God bless you.
No, that's a team name.
Oh, okay.
Bayern Munich. That's in Germany.
Germany,
yes, there you go. PSG is another one. Messi plays at PSG. Juventus.
I have 2 as well.
No, and that team's in Italy.
Is there names of places?
This is a lot of teams are named after the places that they are. I will tell you that.
What is the Deuce one? Is there a city called Deuce in
Deuce?
Isn't that 2? Something 2. I don't know.
Deuce?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Did you not say Deuce?
No, I said Juventus. Juventus.
Where did I go? Juventus de Market.
So, yeah, what was I talking about? Yeah, so comebacks are possible in this game. It does happen a lot, but what doesn't happen a lot is losing 7-0. That's an absolute disgrace.
GG.
It's just like you're just like, you're a professional player getting paid shit ton of money, and you lose fucking 7-0. Like, bro, where's your passion?
At least made one.
You should have at least made one. Or just like, if you get 2 goals scored on, then at least leave it at 2-0. I would be happy with a 2-0 loss.
Boost the defense, like, and they kept trying to come back offense, but don't play offense if you need to defend.
Right. And it's funny is that the video is still playing, and they're at the 4th one already, and they're still going.
Yeah, they're at the 65-minute mark. Yeah,
and then you clearly see the coach still telling them, like, you're out of position here. You're supposed to be right here, and it's just like they're not following the game plan. They're not tracking back. They're not defending those quick plays, and it's just like this is something they've been doing all season. They've been prolific at this. They've beaten Barcelona, and it is crazy as that we've made an unbeaten run. I think it was 30 games unbeaten we've gone, and then we lose 7-0. And now, I'll tell you, at the beginning of our season, we weren't at our best because we also lost, I believe it was 5-0 to another team. And it just shows you that there is something wrong with the players that they have on that team. There is something with that they're either just like they're not helping their teammates out, or like in the back rooms, because this isn't just it. These people are training grounds literally 7 days a week for hours, like in the morning. They're eating together, they're practicing, they're looking at plays together. A lot of their wives are like, friends with each other. They have a whole entire life other than just what we see on the pitch. So I'm thinking that there's something wrong. Huh?
You call it a field?
I can't hear you.
You said you don't call it like I said, you don't call it a field, you call it a pitch.
A pitch. Yes, a pitch field.
Yeah.
Potato,
No, I didn't know. I've never even heard of that term. I thought that was baseball.
Really?
Pitch.
I mean,
pitcher's mound, pitch.
Ball. I think I've heard people call it a pitch. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I think there's just many terminologies.
Yeah. So you were saying like that's not all. It's not.
Oh yeah, it's this isn't everything that we see here. There's clearly things that happen in the locker room. Some people aren't. Huh?
I think maybe they got beef.
I think so. I think a lot of these people have to go. Some of these people really have to go, because if you're starting a new team and you're wanting people to have the same game plan, then you need to have those people all together. If one person is like kind of annoyed that they're not getting game and they're kind of just being in a bitchy mood and they're not coming back and defending, that really hurts the whole team as a total. And here we go. We see it in the highlights. They're starting to leave.
The fans.
Yeah, 5-0.
Fans leaving at the 75-minute mark. Well, I don't know. I see where they're coming from. Especially when your team is like, they're just having a bad day. I blame the goalie though. That's who I'm like.
So so that was one thing I wanted to bring up. You think Manchester United's keeper is an issue?
Yeah, they should have swapped him like once they noticed like 5 goals in. Oh wait, 4 goals in, because usually when you see football matches, it's like 2-1, 2-3, like within they got vibe on them.
Right. And some fans from Manchester United have been saying that he does need to leave, and some other fans are like, no, you're crazy. Like, he just won the club record. This is their own personal club for most clean sheets. Clean sheets is just basically no goals scored on you in a game. He's gone 181 games with clean sheets. So that's a record. Oh, and here's what is that? I think that's number 6. They just scored number 6.
Yeah, number 6 means take off your shirt. Apparently.
So this is the player I told you is their best player, Mohamed Salah. What did you think of him this game?
I think he has way too many abs. He's doing a great job. I think he's doing a great job. Like this, what is this? His third? This is his second goal for the team. That man's putting in work. Not this guy. He's mad.
No, so that guy that you just mentioned was Marcus Rashford. So he's been on a really good run since the World Cup. He has like just not been stopped. He's been nonstop scoring. But as you can clearly see in this game, he did not score at all. He was just not there, man. It was just like the players weren't talking. They weren't helping each other out. They weren't backtracking. And like I'm telling you, this is another goal that we saw come from the right-hand side, just constantly giving them space and to run, and then just not, when they do have that space, not pressuring him, not coming up to him and forcing him to make a quick decision. So when you give a player that much space, they can think, oh, I see someone over there, I see someone over there, let me pick my best decision. Versus when you see a guy coming to you, like you look up once and then you kick it to the best place. You don't give them that time to think, but they just weren't on it.
They needed to apply that pressure, that defense pressure. And they weren't.
And so after the game, they asked the coach, is fatigue an issue with your players? Have them been playing too many games? And Manchester United has been one of the teams out there that's been in 4 competitions. We did just win 1 competition, and we have silverware now. We have a trophy for this season
I
already.
was like, they ain't have spoons yet.
And so they have a trophy. They've been declared champions in some sort of tournament already this season, and they are still in 3 other tournaments. 2 other tournaments and 1 league. They're still playing for the league. So they have been playing more games. And the thing is that the coach hasn't been rotating his team a lot. So if you think about it, you're playing more games than the other team. You haven't had much rest because the coach isn't doing that many rotation, because he's looking at his bench and like, I have shit players to come bring in. And a whole other issue to get in with Manchester United is that they're currently up for sale right now. So they're looking for people to come in and buy the club and take over and, bring in investments, bring in new players. Huh?
Ryan Reynolds?
So Ryan Reynolds currently has his own club with Wrexham. And
you said that you mentioned that in your
yes, that's one of the teams.
I can watch that podcast.
It's a good one. Maybe we'll talk about that one later, because I love Ryan Reynolds and I love what he's doing, and I wanted to compare, of course, when we do get new owners, how you should be running and things like that. But I think that's another thing in the background, is that the club being currently sold. And who is it going to be sold to? What players are going to get new contracts? What players are going to be sold? These are things I think as a human being you would be thinking about, almost 24/7 while you're playing. How much effort am I going to give if I'm not going to get a new contract? Like, I don't even want to be here and things like that.
You want to look good for the new peeps.
Clearly 7-0 isn't showing you look good.
Yeah, it's not gonna. Yeah.
And so here we go, the end of the game. Finally, and I just couldn't wait for it to be over. Every single time they scored another one, I'm like this has got to be a joke. Like, this isn't funny anymore. Like, just stop.
It's so funny to me. You're so upset,
bro. I am so upset. Like, I'm telling you, this isn't normal. Losing 7-0 isn't normal, and especially after being 30 games unbeaten. Like, how do you do that? And so I think the next game is very important. Honestly, it's super important to see what happens after this, because honestly, a lot of these players have to go. They've either been here for too long or they're not fit to play in this team. Like, honestly, like, you need to have that mentality. You need to have that. And the fact that when you're looking at your substitutes and at your bench, and you don't have the quality to do it, you're just throwing bodies in because the players on the field aren't doing shit.
Yeah, they're tired. Yeah, I believe that. I believe they're tired.
But the thing the coach says is that it's not fatigue, that they should be playing to their highest capabilities because they did it 2 or 3 games ago. But bro, I would be tired. Like, I just gave my 100%. Like, the last game, I just trained for the next 3 days, and now I have to play another game and give you 100%. Like, this isn't possible. Like, I need a rest. I need some rotation.
No, they need the pep talk of their life.
But how many pep talks can you do in a season? Because it's every single game you have to do a pep talk. Versus when you bring a new player in, they already have that. I'm like, okay, now it's my time to shine, that I should be in the starting 11. Not show like this absolute disgrace of a fucking... Oh.
So very the sad for you. So very the sad. But
so yeah, no, I think especially in the next game, I have to see how do they defend, especially on that left-hand side, because that's where they were just attacking. Yeah, they did score on the other side with the first goal, but I think once they saw the weaknesses were coming through the right side, I've seen throughout the season, you don't know him, but his name is Luke Shaw. He gave up a lot of the goals today. I see when he chooses to defend, he doesn't press. He kind of like like bounces back and kind of lets them make a decision, and then if they make a mistake, he'll clean it up. But attacking, this guy's amazing. He's a really good attacker. The balls he shoots in and everything are like, there's the quality. So you're sacrificing defensive qualities for attacking capabilities,
Mhm.
and it's just like, you shouldn't be able to do that as a coach of Manchester United. You should have options and players in those perfect positions, but he's worked wonders. Honestly, I think the coach has done amazing.
For
This,
Manchester,
yes, for Manchester. The one for Liverpool, he's been there, I believe, for 7 years now. So
loyal.
yeah, he's won trophies with them. He's won the league with them, and so that's difficult every single year, motivating those players to constantly win it all again. That's crazy. So you could clearly see why they were struggling at the beginning of the season, finding that self motivation and things like that. But with Manchester United, I don't know. It's a rebuild. It's the first season. It's still the same coach, and it's just continuing. But today was today was an eye opener to say the least, that there's still a lot of problems. And like you pointed it out, you're a person that doesn't see it, soccer, or excuse me, football weekly, on a weekly basis, and you saw that there was an issue with the keeper. And like I said, a lot of people have been split on him because he's good at saving, but he's not good at passing out from the back. Like, he can't find those passes, and he's not as good with his feet
And
as,
that's where they got him. They
yeah,
they
they
found his
exploited
weakness.
him.
They found his weakness. They were like, "Oh, let's just keep doing that," and it just kept working 7 times.
See, you don't got to do that. I know the 7-0 is imprinted in my brain. No, I think it's gonna be good coming the next game. I think that's what the players just want. They just want that next game to come to get rid of this one, because it was.
Yeah, yeah. You know what they say? After a really bad day is a really good day, and that's what I think. I think today was just a really bad day for Manchester United. Um,
Mhm. I
I'm not
think,
gonna say they're bad because I did see
yeah,
that one thing with you, and they were good. They were
yeah.
good, and even at the end of that highlight, I wouldn't even call it a highlight for y'all team, but it showed their placement, and you mentioned it before. Top, they're third in the out of the 20,
Mhm.
and then Liverpool that just murdered them on the pit. Was fifth. They
They're
were
fifth.
fifth, and
Yeah.
how do you do they not get a retry? Like you're
We
fifth.
played. I think we might play each other again this season. I'm not sure. I'd have to see what day that is. And if we do, but I'm pretty sure in the back of their minds, the Manchester United play, it's going to be on the back of their minds the next time they play them.
They're like, we can't lose.
Yeah.
And if they do, they're gonna be like, okay, Liverpool's better than us. But how does the that reminds me? I had a question earlier because like it showed points next to it. Like, how
Mhm.
do you get your rank in the top 20?
Well, I mean, everyone at the beginning of the season starts with 0.
Right.
So, your first game, you have the options of getting 3 points
Mhm.
if you win. You get 1 point if you tie, and you get 0 if you lose.
Okay, because they were
Right.
sitting at 49. That's why they're
Right.
that's what
So we're
they're
pretty far into the season. We're pretty far. It's we're more than halfway. I'll tell you that. And one thing that we have to look at Liverpool is, because I was telling you, they've been struggling. They've had issues this season, and they've had times where they did look like they were, starting to get that rhythm again. And then the next game, shit. And that's what I think we have to see from them. You got all this hype back on you now. You just beat a team that had a 30-game unbeaten run. Now, where does Liverpool continue? Because they have to continue this
Mhm.
after this. If not, then they're going to stay out of the Champions League, and they're going to have to rebuild or whatever. A lot of people were calling this Liverpool's downfall season. They think that they were going to like lose. They were
Yeah,
go into like.
I saw a TikTok about that today, and that's why I told you I've heard of Liverpool before, but I know it wasn't them. Like on the TikTok, I think they were just like low key making fun of it.
Mhm.
This is unnecessary information, but the TikTok the TikTok was basically saying they're gonna come back harder than ever, and
That's
then
what she
this
said.
and and this game that we just witnessed is low key um like a telltale of that. Like they spoke it into existence.
Mhm.
They're making it their destiny. Like they were like, oh, they made a TikTok about it. Whoever made this TikTok definitely made it before this game today.
Mhm.
And whoever made that TikTok, they're probably like, yo, I just predicted the future because they were like, this is the underdog's chance to finally.
Right.
And then they blew y'all out of the water. Yep. Like, what are the odds? What are the odds in that? Like, what are the stats?
And the thing is, it's like we said, and I think this is what a lot of people are saying is that it's normal to lose 3-0, 4-0. Like that's like you see that the other team was clearly better than you, but you were still trying. 7-0 tells you that they stopped fucking playing, that they just gave up.
Mhm.
How do you do that as a professional?
How do you sleep at night?
Yeah.
You kiss your
I
kids saying,
honestly think
I earned my money today.
I honestly think a lot of those players need to leave. There's a lot of issues. The keeper's been there for a long time. He's done so much, but as Batman has always said, if you
Batman.
if, if you oh man, I forget his quote is that if you uh
Coochie
here we
man.
go. So, as Batman has always said, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain,
Oh,
right?
I've heard that.
So,
Yes.
how long is long enough at a club? Do you think you continue going with the praise because the fans love you? Or do
Uh,
you say, I think at this point it's time for me to give up the mantle and pass it on for the next person to continue the success? Right?
you saying switch teams?
No, not switch teams. He doesn't have to switch teams. David De Gea, he can go because he's originally from Spain. He can
Mhm.
go back to his Spain roots and retire there because he is a little bit older. So, I mean, do you die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain? Because
Yeah, you don't want to.
losing 7-0, who
No,
you
you're the villain
as a
now.
completely
Yeah,
third party, you saw that the issue was the keeper.
yeah. He need a dang, but now he can't hang his cape because that man going out with L's.
No, I mean he doesn't have to leave now. He can leave at the end of the season.
Mhm.
But
Give
it's
him a
all
chance to prove himself. You know what I mean? Like he said,
yeah.
I still got it. Like, don't forget
And
about
he
all that
has
I.
shown it this season that he is capable of having those games. He like recently he just beat the record and got 181 clean sheets. He just recently, and that's not an easy task for any keeper. To honestly, one of the hardest positions in playing the game is defensive midfielder, which is in the center of the pitch. You read the whole entire game, you make the passes, you make the tackles. Then the second, or I mean, it's easily arguable.
Mhm.
I think this is a tie for first is the keeper, because as soon as you make one mistake, it's all in you because you're the last line. You
That's
and
what she
and here's another one too because
said.
as a keeper, you see the ball go all the way in. Like you you see it going past you. And my brother said this to me once because he was a keeper. He's like, you see it going by you and you want to adjust your body because you see it and you think you can still save it, but like you're looking
Yeah,
at it
a
just go
lot of
by.
those dives and stuff, and they're just ooh,
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't that just hurt that much more when you land so hard on the ground after missing the ball? Like I'd understand if you like go for the ball, you block the ball,
Mm-hmm.
and you land hard. You're still gonna it's bittersweet. You're like ah, but
A
then
lot
when
of injuries for keepers are shoulder injuries.
yeah, I can
Mm-hmm.
imagine because that man he was diving. I ain't gonna lie, he was
Mm-hmm.
trying. You could tell he was trying, but I think he needs to be wider.
Yeah.
As wide as the goal.
Yeah. I mean, if he was that, then I'm pretty sure no one scored on him.
Yeah, he,
No, I mean it's a bad game. No one expected this. Honestly, this was a pretty hyped up game. Like honestly, probably the two of the oldest and most successful clubs in the Premier League. Honestly, there's more. Surprisingly, there's a lot more because this league has been going on for years. But two big popular teams went off today, and no one expected this. No one expected 7-0. They expected maybe 2-1, maybe a 1-0, because after the first half, it didn't. They scored at the end of the first half,
Mm.
and then the second half came, and how do you score 6 goals in this? I can't keep going on it. The game's over.
The game happened.
Game's over.
It was real life too. This
Mhm.
is not a dream, Sacramento.
I want to wake up and wish it was a dream, but
Real life. I can
mhm.
play the video for you again.
No, you don't got to. It's still playing in my head every
play it
single goal.
7 times for you.
And here, yeah. And the funny thing is that, yeah, you're on Twitter. They're going ham on Manchester United right now because, like I said, they've been winning, and now that they've lost, and like I was just hoping it'd be like a simple loss, you know, because they could still make fun of us, but losing 7-0, they're just like macking on United right now. They're just destroying it.
And you can also join our Mackin on our Twitter at SSDD _ podcast. That's SSDD _ podcast.
And you can also reach us on Instagram at SSDD _ pod. Today's topic was about football. Honestly, yes, football. Let's go.
Oh, you don't know nothing about that. You ain't getting that one goal. Liverpool.
Oh my. If you guys want to reach us on there and talk more about it, or if you even want to guest appear on the show, we just send us some details and we can see about getting that on.
If you're a Liverpool fan, come on the show.
Yeah, I'll invite it. I'll talk to any Liverpool fan. But if I see you, it's on site, dog, because I ain't losing another game 7-0.
Like, I really want to do another one. I want to do another one about them two. Like, if they ever go against each other again, I want to see how that plays out.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be other good games this season that we can clearly look at. But again, if you guys want to reach us on Twitter, Instagram, let us know. You can also email us. I've been your host, Sacramento.
And your co-host, Patty Daddy.
We love you all. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah.